Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel and Merry Christmas. Welcome to another episode of Realistify in this YouTube channel. And today we'll be working on a game, not a digital drawing or a pencil drawing today, and I guess it's gonna be awesome. And some of you may or may not have heard about the game before. The game is called Militia. It's kind of a multiplayer game, and it involves some robots and stuff like that. It's a 2D game, so and it looks kind of cartoon. So that was where the idea came from, to make it realistic. And I've remade these robots to make the video shorter and the work easier. But if you want to know how to make these robots using Photoshop, you should watch this video to the end. I'll be adding the tutorial at the end of this video. And I guess that's all. So let's get right into it. Okay guys, so I pre-made these robots. As you can see, they are all brought out from Militia. Yeah, I kind of love that game. So these are the three main robot I pre-made for the project. So let's start the work. So I started by bringing in different images first to test out like how it's gonna be. So I brought out like 3 to 4 images before I decided on the one I'll be using. Then I remembered, well, it's Christmas, so let's do something snowy. So I brought in this image. As you can see, it has snow in it. Then adding the cloud, and as you can see, the clouds are kind of different, so I had to blend it in using the brush, and then change the color of the one on top using color balance and hue and saturation. So when you take your time with the two, with either hue and saturation or any color balancing, I don't know, any color balancing stuff, either hue or saturation, you get it. So as you can see, the two pictures blend together for the cloud. Then I had to blend everything together. So I decided to divide the image into 2 different color reflection, like 2 different worlds. Let me say worlds, like for the Mechadoodle robots and for the human being. So I decided to make the right side kind of green and the left side blue. So as you can see, I used hue and saturation. Then I used blend if to blend the blue hue and saturation to the sky. As you can see, it looks kind of in there. Then I discovered that the sky is kind of over on top of the mountain, so I had to cut out the mountain, so using pen tool. So I used pen tool for the mountain to cut it out. It took me a lot, like I don't know, 20 minutes, I don't know, no, maybe 15 minutes. So this is a speed up. After that, then it looks kind of intact after dropping it behind it. Then I found out that the cloud is not well, like some places are transparent, so I used stamp tool to bring it back to make it not transparent.
Purchase your tracks today.
As you can see, it worked. Then I started bringing in more images to set the scene. As you can see, this is a rock, so I dropped it at the front. So I want, as you can see, the scene is a snowy scene, so I need the rock to have snow on it. So I dropped in a layer. I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but I dropped in a white layer, then used blend if to blend it in. and then painted it on the rock. So as you can see, it looks kind of snowy. I don't know if this is the best way, but for now that's how I do mine. As you can see, I'm using blend div. Then I painted it in. As you can see, I'm naming all the layers. So I brought in this image for the first image. Then I used pen tool to cut it out, but I'll increase the speed very fast. Like it took me maybe, I think this is up to 20 minutes actually to finish it. So as you can see, it's a speed up. I reduced the speed. Then I closed the pen tool, cut it out, masked it out. Then I had to use the brush tool to paint out some places not needed, and so I'm painting the places needed. So as you can see, this place I had to take it out. I don't need it, so I painted it out. And this place too, I need it. I don't need it actually. Sorry, painted it out. And that place here also. And also these lines, I kind of like it there, so I painted it in back using the brush too.
Purchase your tracks today.
So most of the remaining images are kind of PNG. This one isn't, so I used quick select tool to take that out. Then I brought in the Militia stuff. To set the scene. Then I brought in some soldiers. Like it looks like a war between Mekadudu armies and soldiers, real life soldiers. So I finished setting the scene, so it's time to blend everything in. So I couldn't record how I made the highlight on the mountain, but I will let you see how I made other highlights. So let's see how I made the highlight on one of these robots. So for that I have to go to the layer. I brought in saturation and clipped it. As you can see, took it to on top of the layer, clipped it. As you can see, clipping is by pressing Alt and then go in between the layer, color balancing layer, and the layer you want it to work on. So you just click on Alt, then move in between the two layers. You see your cursor change into another icon, something like that. Then you click on it, then it clips. As you can see, I've clipped these two layers on top of this robot layer, these two color balance. So I had to paint it in. So the layer will be white when you bring it in. You just have to invert it using pressing Ctrl I. You have to click on that white mask on top of the layer. White, it will be white. Then press Ctrl I to invert it. So if you want to bring in back the layer, the color, you have to use white brush to paint it back. That's exactly how I do it. So I copied the one that I did the highlight on to all of the other robots. As you can see, I pretended the layer. That's it. So there's one flying. If you've seen the game before, you know they fly. They use kind of a jetpack, something like that. So I also highlighted the soldiers. As you can see, there are two armor tanks like far away, but let's just keep that. I just eased it out. I used clouds brush. So I did the highlight on everything, and and here too. Also on this one. So in details, this soldier, I brought in the texture, the layer, clipped it. I already have the layers down, so I just copied from one layer to another, the mask layer. So just clip it, then use brush, white brush, because you've inverted the layer, the color, the ear saturation layer, you've inverted it, so you have to use a white brush to paint it in back. So yeah, I'm just putting the shadows, the touch shadows on top of the rock. I used exposure. I reduced this. I brought in a layer, exposure layer on top of the rock. Then I reduced it, the exposure. So I inverted the layer from white to black. Then used paintbrush, white brush to paint it back. So as you can see, it works as a shadow. So you just have to tweak the settings and see the one that works best for you. So I had to tweak some exposures, tweak the exposures on the soldiers to make it blending. Then I used the exposure to bring in some shadows also on top of the soldiers. Sorry. So it's time for the highlights. So white brush, as you can see, then I paint on top of it. As you can see, it's white, then I inverted it, then use white brush to paint it. You can also clean it back by using black brush. It's easy to switch from the two brushes just by pressing X. X switches it from white brush to black brush. Very easy.
Purchase your tracks today.
Okay, so that's it. So I just have to make the glow look exactly as it will be if in real life there is a black light from that side in real life. Just guess how reflecting, how extending the reflection will be to make your own reflection. That's it. That's just the idea. So I made an ace between the soldier and the two robots behind, the soldier and the robot behind, and then that's it. Isn't it cool for my third try? And that's it, guys. I guess it's okay enough for my third try. And later I decided to add some stuff, change the text, and add a little touch of Christmas, and this was the result. And I guess that's it. So I said I'll be adding a tutorial at the end of it. So I made these robots and I'll be showing you how I made it. It's totally the same way I made the robots in Militia. So let's get right into it. I want to change this to this. So let's get right into it. This is the robot. The first thing you have to do is bring in layers, like color filled layers, like the color you want. It has to be different. Then use pen tool to cut it into different parts of the robot. Of the robot, sorry. So I cut it. Then bring in layers, images. So you have to clip it, as you can see the cursor now. Alt is pressed. So moving in between the layer and the image, it shows this kind of stuff. So when you click it, it clips. So as you can see, the image is in the layer. So to make it more 3D, less flat, you just have to do this. Just go to the layer, as you can see, layer, Ctrl T. Then I don't know how large you want the image to be, but what makes it less 3D is when you warp it. So to warp it, you just have to right click, then go to warp. So just do what you think will work. As you can see what I'm doing now, I'm trying to make it curve V or something, less flat. As you can see, it's looking less flat, like as you can see. You have to do it in favor of the image you've done. As you can see, I'm following the curve of the image of the robot, sorry. So you have to do that to all the bodies. As you can see, I'm done with it. Then the next thing we need to do is to add shadows. So to add shadows, you have to use exposure. So just bring in the exposure layer on top of each layers. Then you have to know where your light will be coming from, to know where you put the shadows will be. As you can see, if the light is coming from the left side, the shadows will be like downwards right side. You should know how light works in real life, so just follow that procedure and you will see you are getting there. Just don't stop and keep on doing it. As you can see, almost done, and it looks 3D already. Then I added the eye using black paint, then beveled it. I painted black on it and then beveled it. Then I dropped the ears, put shadow. Also the light, I used a colorful light, then painted a red brush on it, then changed it to color dodge. That's the main thing to do. So I dropped details, the nails, then put shadows, and that's it. Very easy to do. So that's how you can make a robot. And that is, guys, that was how I made the robot. And if you watched this video to this level, thank you very much, and subscribe to this channel and smash the bell button to get notified when I release my next video. I'll be making more content outside Realistify. Even I guess my next video will be outside Realistify. So smash the bell button to be notified. Thank you very much.